What's going on, NSP Nation? Are you kidding me? The Niners make the biggest move they've ever made. They traded for the most dynamic player in the NFL. They get themselves Christian McCaffrey. Now, I know a lot of people, especially my colleagues over here, Vince and Reed, they think I'm upset about it. But how can you be upset when you just got the best running back in the league? And I'm saying this in full confidence. He is the best running back in the league. And you pair him up with an offensive genius like Kyle Shanahan, and then you pair him up with a run heavy offense, how could I be mad? Honestly, how could I be mad? Now, yes, I did have plans on going to this year's draft, maybe, but so it's a little discouraging now that we gave up all of our draft capital. But you got to be excited for this year. You got to be excited for the rest of 2022 and the 2023 season. This is just amazing. Yeah, we've been dealing with injuries, especially in the linebacker position. We had TDP go down. We had our first string Elijah Mitchell, who had a hell of a season last year. He went down due to injury, which we will be getting him back after the bye week. But now we have Christian McCaffrey. Are you kidding me? Making our lives a lot easier offensively. We've seen ourselves struggle. In the last game, we did struggle. We'll talk about the last game against the Falcons, which we should have won that game. That's just another game that we completely blew out of the water. It was defensively, it was kind of it was kind of hard. Joe Villa, hey, I appreciate you being here. It's just me today. Welcome to Niner Talk Friday. I do this every Friday. I normally don't go live, but I got a very busy schedule. I'm going to be on the road later on today. But heck yeah, man, we get CMC. He says Roger Craig 2.0. Oh man, I'm super excited. And I hope you guys are too. For you faithful out there, you got to be excited. You can't be mad about this. You Like I said, you put him in the most dynamic offense. I mean, we have George Kittle, we got Deebo Samuel. We've seen Brandon Ayuk and his flashes, how good he could be. And last week, we saw Jimmy G hit those deep balls. He threw three amazing, perfectly placed deep balls against the Falcons, and they were all drops. That was huge. Okay, so yeah, before I heard about this trade, it was late last night. Before I heard about this trade, I was kind of down in the dumps, trying to be optimistic about our team. But now, you got to be excited. I'm going to keep on saying it. But yeah, he says he owns the NFC West, 100 scrimmage yards versus the Cards, Lambs, and even us 49ers. Yeah, man. Well, because he gets utilized so much. And I know one might think, well, how's Kyle Shanahan going to use this guy? Are we going to still be doing that three-man back? Are we going to have that rotation back there? I think CMC is the exception. I think he's the exception where he's in there first, second, and a lot of third downs because of his pass catching ability. It just makes Jimmy G's life so much easier. So we could go back, we could revert back to our Jimmy G play style where we hold the ball for 2 seconds in the pocket and get rid of it. We got to get rid of it fast, and CMC is a perfect candidate for that. If we're using Deebo Samuel in the backfield we're on a quick route, it is just awesome. Yeah, it says CMC, Debo, Ayuk, Kittle, and Mitchell coming back. So imagine saying this. Imagine saying that you have Elijah Mitchell as your second string back. That is awesome. Now, how spoiled are we? And we've been using Jeff Wilson. He did not have the greatest game last week, but he's been playing very well this past season. So not only are we having Elijah Mitchell as our second string, but we're having Jeff Wilson as our third string. And then we're having TDP as our fourth string, which we saw that he had an amazing game before he suffered that injury. We're going to have by far, the best running back room in the league. And I'm going to say that confidently. We have the best running back room in the league. We have the best linebacker room in the league. And if we're not so injured, we also have the best defensive front in the league. But we're dealing with so many injuries where Armstead looks like he's going to be doubtful again this game against the Chiefs, which I really want to win. Kinlaw, he looks doubtful as well. But Nick Bosa, he really wants to play. But I don't want him to play unless he's 100%. Joe Villa says, please, Shanahan, do not run him between the tackles. Don't kill CMC. And I think we're going to do just that. I think we're going to kill this guy just like we run all of our running backs down in the ground. We abuse our backs. We really do. Brar, what's going on, man? Appreciate you joining the live stream. Welcome to Niner Friday. We normally don't go live, but I got a very busy schedule, so I can try to make this happen. going forward, but I'm not too sure. But Brar says 49ers to the Super Bowl. We definitely have a contending team. And we definitely have a team that can be first in our division. We should be first in our division. I don't care what people say. Last week, I took it to heart, right? Because that's another game we should have won. But we had 8 guys out defensively. 8 guys out defensively. That is huge. I mean, we had the number one ranked defense of the league, and having 8 of those guys out of there, you're gonna see a difference there. Now, it wasn't bad, and I know that Jeff Wilson fumble recovery for a defensive touchdown was huge on our part. I mean, we could not afford to do that. But offensively, looking back at it, we dropped 3 deep balls, which could have changed the game big time. Joe Villa says, I'll be at Levi at the Bud Light Bar, top floor under Jumbotron. Hey, that's awesome, dude. That's freaking awesome. Unfortunately, I'm kind of embarrassed to say this, but I have yet to go to Levi's Stadium. That's always been a dream of mine. That's on my bucket list. I'm hoping to get out there maybe late this season or next season, just because I'm a big time Niners fan. If y'all can't tell, and that is all my bucket list. I live in Texas, in the San Antonio area, so I got ways to go, but definitely going to try to make it out there. Uh, Joe Villas, die Eagles, die. Oh man, die. Honestly, I think it would be a great matchup if the Eagles went up against the Niners. I want it to happen. No, just because of how dynamic they are in offense. We need a healthy defense first. So who's out from the old line this week? It doesn't look like McGlinchey's going to be playing this week, and that is pretty big because we're already out a few guys. McGlinchey might be out. Trent Williams was actually limited in practice, so he is day to day. He is optimistic about playing, but do I really want him to play? If he's not 100%, let's not play him, okay? Because this game, as much as us faithful want to win, this is not an important game. The following week against the Rams, that is huge. If we could sweep the Rams, who are fighting us for the first place in that division, I'm not counting so much of the Seahawks. I'm still not convinced, but that game's important. So allow people like Nick Bosa, Trent Williams, Charvarius Ward. Oh, Charvarius Ward, that's a huge one. For them to be 100% and come back. But offensive line, we're probably going to be out not Brunskill. We're probably going to be out Trent Williams, Mike McGlinchey. Rendell's still going to be there. We're still going to have Burford, and we're still going to have Banks. Looks like Brunskill might step in, but he was just getting thrown around like a rag doll, and that was pretty embarrassing. But McKivitz is also dealing with an injury as well. Says CMC just gained 3 hours rest. Yes, he gained 3 hours of rest, but I don't think it's enough time for him to actually learn the playbook and be effective during this Kansas City game. I do feel like we will feel the whole wrath of CMC in that Rams game, which I'm looking forward to it. Nick De La Rosa, appreciate you being here live. Welcome to NSP Niner Fridays. He says 49ers offense looking scarier. Yes, 100% scarier. We already have a great offense. You know, last week didn't show too much, but like I said, it was just simple mistakes that was on us. It wasn't really that we got outplayed. It was just that play calling a little bit, but we abandoned the run game. And now having CMC, I kind of find it very hard to abandon the run game. And CMC, not only was he the running back one for the Carolina, he was also the wide receiver one. So just imagine what he can do. Now, there's a couple things I don't like about this, okay? And one is a selfish reason. I have CMC on fantasy, and I need to win this week. I'm still undefeated for fantasy football, and I don't want to take my first L. I got a good bench, so I feel like we could transition him because I do know that he will be very limited to snaps at best for this Kansas City game. Another thing is we run our running backs to the ground. We go through the most running back injuries than any other team, maybe close to the Ravens, but any other team, we go through the most. And CMC, his nickname is Mr. Glass. So that is not very convincing. I'm a little scared, but I feel very optimistic. I'm super excited. You can't be mad about this. It says, save your money, but standing room in the meet in the Bud Light bar. Hey, man. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I would definitely love to meet you, man. I would love to save my money. And I'll go ahead and let you guys know whenever I do plan on going out there to the Bay. It is a dream of mine. It is on my bucket list. I do know I want to take my father. Hopefully, I'll take my fiance with me. But it is huge. I've only been to one game, and that was in Houston, the Houston Texans against the Niners, and the Niners, whooped on them, and I loved it. And I really want to go to Levi Stadium, feel the faithful, feel the fans out there. It's just what I want to do. Nick DeRosa says, "Go Cowboys!" Hey, they coming off a tough loss, but you know what? I do feel like they could come back. I got high hopes for Dak Prescott, and if not, you already have a solid back in Cooper Rush. Is CMC playing this week? I kind of addressed this a little bit earlier. If he does play, at best, it will be limited snaps. So you're not going to see too much of CMC. Unfortunately, it just takes too much time to learn the playbook, get comfortable with the players, transition from Carolina over there to Santa Clara. It's a huge transition. So at best, he might play very limited snaps. So I know the crowd's going to go nuts whenever he steps on the field, if he does. Yeah, you might have to sit CMC. It's a horrible deal, but you know what? You're a Niners fan, so you can't be too mad, right? Says, do I sit CMC for Brees Hall or Cook? Oh yeah, 100%. I love Brees Hall, and I feel like he's just on a hot streak, and he's not slowing down. Cook is also not a bad option. Either one of those guys will do it. Just look at the matchups. I don't have the matchups on me just this second, but I do feel like the Jets do have a very favorable one. So I like Brees Hall. He's just on a hot streak, and I'm going to ride that roller coaster until it crashes. Joe Swift says, start Swift over CMC. Thoughts? Now, Swift, he might be coming back, and even so, he's not at 100%. So that's kind of tough. But if that's your only option, I would definitely do so. CMC, like I said, at best, would take limited snaps, so it won't be worth starting him. Yeah, that's just my deal. I mean, it's just going to be 1 week without CMC. Think of it as a bye week for Christian McCaffrey. I don't know, it kind of sucks because you got to think of it as a bye week here, and then 2 weeks later he has a bye week with the Niners. It's going to be tough. So he back home, Stanford. He is a Stanford boy, so very smart guy, and a lot of people might be kind of cautious because of his age. But did you know that he's actually younger than Deebo Samuel? Yeah, so he's younger than Deebo Samuel. So that's freaking awesome. I love that. He still has a lot of game left. F the Cowboys. Hey, come on. We're all family here. Says chances of CMC getting injured. I think the chances are pretty high. I'll say 60%. 50. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. I'll do 50% just because the Niners do love to run their running backs to the ground. That's why I'm a little bit scared, but I'm very optimistic that he can stay healthy, especially with the way we run our offense, and having CMC back there, it just spreads out the opportunity for us even more, especially if we do keep him for the following year, which I 100% believe that we do, and we have Trey Lance, a mobile quarterback out there. I mean, we're going to have Trey Lance, George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, and then CMC. Are you kidding me? It's just too many weapons. Aints going to Aints. Is it the Aints? Is it the Jets going against this? They played last night. That was very disappointing, man. They had it. It was 14-14, and then they fell apart. They allowed the Cardinals to catch fire, and it was kind of bad. It had some underdog bets going on, which freaking Andy Dalton screwed me on. He played fairly well, even though he had 3 picks. He still got a lot of points for fantasy, just enough to outrank me. So CMC was number 4 RB points per game with Panthers. That's another thing to bring up. He was awesome with the Panthers. Now, yes, I know it's the Panthers. It's a horrible offense, horrible play calling, but you gotta remember that was the only guy that they could rely on. So yeah, he was getting the points, but because they couldn't go anywhere else. So do I think it's a downfall going with the Niners? I wouldn't say that. The Niners do have a favorite running back every single time, even though they do rotate their backs. So their favorite will by far be CMC, and then our back will be Elijah Mitchell after the bye week when he comes back, and his fantasy value has gone down tremendously. If you have Jeff Wilson on your fantasy team, go ahead and just put him on the bench, man. No, put him. You got to cut him. It's tough, but it's the truth. This might be his last game that he's able to do anything, but it's not looking good for him. Not at all. Brar says, does CMC fantasy production drop? Oh, I literally just answered that. No, do not trade him. I will not trade him because knowing Kyle Shanahan, this is like the shiny toy that he's always wanted, right? But he was only able to afford the great value production. If you look at all of our running backs in the history of the Niners with Kyle Shanahan there. These are all late round draft picks, late round draft picks. Raheem Mostert was on multiple teams beforehand, and he was on the practice squad for so long. Cal Shanahan developed these guys. So imagine what Cal Shanahan could do with a guy who I'm still going to say is at his prime and one of the best, if not the best, running backs in the league. So no, I would not say drop him from your fantasy team. Does he drop in fantasy production? I don't think he would consistently get 25 to 30 points. No, I don't think that, but I do feel like he is still a starting running back one. It is awesome, especially on this run heavy team. You best believe that when we are in the red zone, this is the guy. This is the guy. This is what I'm super excited about. They were going to be utilizing him in the red zone by far. Yeah, he is 26 years young. Let's go, man. He's so young. He's younger than Debo. Says, as a Niner, I say we get what we can for Lance and cut ties. I don't see him doing much in the NFL. And, that thought process, it has, occurred to me, right? So I was thinking about that as well. So do we cut ties with Trey Lance? We had that rookie season where he didn't play much because he was behind Jimmy G. We had this season where he breaks his ankle. He's out for the whole season. We have Jimmy G, and you see Jimmy G playing well. He's actually playing very well. But now, especially with this trade, it gets sticky. It gets very complicated. So we traded CMC for a 2023 second, third, and fourth round pick and a 2024 fifth round pick. So our draft capital is out the window, especially with all of our draft picks that we traded for Trey Lance. And then after that, we owe him $690,000 for the rest of this season, which is very cap friendly. I mean, very cap friendly. And then for the next 3 years, we owe him 12 mil. Okay, that is on his contract, but guaranteed money is 1 million for injury purposes. That's the only guaranteed money in his contract. So what we can do, we could totally cut CMC whenever we want. If he gets injured, we could cut him, owe him 1 mil, and we're done with that. Clean slate, he's done. But this is what I'm saying is getting complicated, because if he does stay healthy, do we really want to take on Jimmy G's contract? And Jimmy G installed in his new contract a no trade clause. So what does that mean? That means he wants out. After this season, Jimmy G is gone. I could guarantee you that. I know I said this last year, but it does not look good for us keeping Jimmy G. And would I like to keep Jimmy G? Yeah, sure. Why not? If the price is right, but you're going to have to get rid of him. So Jimmy G, sorry, man. He's out of there. I don't think we could cut ties with Trey Lance, especially with him on his rookie deal. I do feel like we can invest into another quarterback. Would I want to? I don't think so. I still feel like we haven't seen any potential from Trey Lance. We've seen a flash here or two in the preseason, but we need to give him at least the benefit of the doubt and let's ride or die. And even with the team that we have, let's say if Trey Lance doesn't pan out, we still have a tremendous defense and a dynamic offense. It's hard to be unsuccessful with this. It says, might trade CMC while hype is all at all-time high. I'm trying to get Adams and AJ Brown thoughts. So depending on your running back room, I kind of like this because, or depending on your running backs and your wide receivers, because this is 2-for-1 deal. Devontae Adams is producing consistent numbers, and I don't see him falling because he is that wide receiver one. So if you get Adams and AJ Brown, which is also the wide receiver one with the Red Hot Eagles, you're going to have two consistent players in return for one. So it's not a bad trade. Like I said, just depending on what your roster looks like, it's not bad. I think you're going to be moving lateral, but if you're struggling on wide receiver depth, then this is a good trade for you. If you have loaded backs, this might be a good trade for you. If you're not loaded in backs, I would keep CMC. But yeah, it just really depends on who you got. So thoughts on Deontay Foreman. Hey, man, you're so lucky I was busy. You are so lucky. I went straight to the league, and out of all of my leagues that I'm in, only one league someone picked him up, and that was you, my friend. So congratulations. That should be a good move for you. He won't be producing the numbers that CMC has. So now that CMC is gone, now that Baker's injured, Sam Darnold might come back, and Matt Rule's been fired, the offensive play scheme is just washed off the dry board, right? So will he be producing? Yes, he will. Will he be producing running back one numbers? No. I think Dante Foreman will be producing low tier running back two, high tier flex position for fantasy football. Now, this is just me talking right off the bat without seeing them play without Christian McCaffrey. Now, this week he will have a big role because they're still going to run with that type of offense. And then they lost Robbie Anderson as well. Forgot to mention that. So he will have a big role and score you a lot of points. Definitely a roster starter for your fantasy team. Now, don't expect some Christian McCaffrey numbers because that's not going to happen, but do expect him to be good enough to be able to start week to week or depending on matchups. But I do feel like he will be able to start every single week. So good for you, Mo. It says, let's go steal Zappy from Pat's LOL Jimmy G part 2. Hey, and Mac Jones is Jimmy G 2.0 as well. And Zappy, I like him. I like him a lot. I'm not 100% confident, but I don't know. Maybe we can get something out of Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, the guy who we got from the draft. He's not that bad. And we got to remember, I was going to say there's a lot of good quarterbacks coming out of this draft, but now we have no draft capital. So that's a little bit scary. We did kind of do a Rams here, even though this is another thing I want to bring up. The Rams and the Niners were the ones in contention with getting CMC. Now, how good does this feel? They stole Matt Stafford from us. Now we're like, hey, we're not going to do that again. They stole OBJ from us. We're not going to do that again. CMC is ours. This is a very aggressive move from Cal Shanahan and from John Lynch, our GM. This is just saying that the front office is telling Shanahan, you do whatever you want. We trust you. We trust you 100%. So I love it. I absolutely love it, especially with Cal Shanahan as a coach. I love him as a coach. I know he has some downfalls, but it will pick up. No points of giving up Lance so early. Yeah, see, that's what I'm kind of saying. There's no point of doing it right now or next year because he'll still be in his rookie contract. And in a way, this might be good for us because he got injured this year. So it's 2 years without him playing. And he plays next year, right? Let's say he doesn't play all that well. He plays mediocre. He plays Jimmy G level, right? Which is a little above average. He plays Jimmy G level. We don't have to pay him the whole cow. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to give up millions and millions of dollars destroying our cap space. So in a way, it could be a good deal. He still could be a franchise QB. The team loves him. He's good with Jimmy G. The team might like Jimmy G a little bit more, but doesn't mean if Jimmy G moves on, there's no other choice, right? So yeah, let's not move on from Trey Lance so soon. It says heavy on RB, Swift, Barkley, and Ramondre. Gut shots. So yeah, I like that. Swift, I'm not too confident. I think he's an awesome player, but we got to wait and see. But if they do accept that trade, I say why not? You know, you get two elite players. Honestly, I would get someone even more. I mean, I'll aim for the stars here. You go get yourself someone. Maybe do a 1-for-1. Maybe do someone for like a Stephon Diggs. You know, why not? Aim for the stars. Get someone who's going to be dynamic. But that's still not a bad trade. I like that just to refortify your wide receiver room. Niners injured O-line better than Panther O-line, 100%. There's no question about it, 100%. And it's just a mess over there in Carolina too. You got to put that into consideration. It's a mess out there, and we don't want to be in that situation. Luckily, we're not in that situation. I don't think we'll be in that situation anytime soon. So good for us. Yeah, our offensive line, we just need to get healthy. Defensively, we need to get healthy. Foreman had an Achilles injury a while back and kind of slowed him down, averaging 3 yards to carry. Chuba is averaging almost double that. That's a good point. I really haven't dove into this, but right now, Foreman will be the solidified RB1. I do think it will take a little bit of time for Chuba Hubbard to transition and overtake that spot. It's kind of like a story with Montgomery and Khalil Herbert. You know, Khalil Herbert is clearly the better back right now, but have they transitioned that? No, they haven't. Bro, I agree with the O-line. Good. Yeah, now we're getting into it. Can we sign OBJ now? I thought I heard rumors that the Vikings were interested in him. I've been working so much. I haven't been on my phone. I know there's a false claim, right, that the Vikings got him, but I know that's not true. But I do believe that they're very interested in him. Why would you want OBJ? I mean, we have Deebo Samuel, we got Brandon Ayuk, and we have the third down machine himself, Jawan Jennings. And then we have a young guy who's ready to go out there, who was built for Trey Lance. I'm talking about Danny Gray. That's a speedster type player, a very Brandon Ayuk type player, a little bit faster. That should be fun and exciting. I don't think we need another wide receiver, especially if it's going to cost us so much. Says Stole Stafford and the bowl. We should have been in the bowl. That should have been us. We were one interception away. Jaquiski Tart, he dropped that. That should have been us. I say it over and over again. Still haunts me to this day. If we went to the Super Bowl, we win 100%. And the stars were aligned too. I don't know if y'all remember last year. It was the 40th anniversary of the catch, and we beat the Cowboys on the 40th anniversary of the catch on that day, and that was also the anniversary of the Bengals and Niners Super Bowl. And so it was written in the stars. And of course, Jaquiski Tart had to ruin it. It's not entirely his fault. I mean, it was throughout the whole game, but that should have been us. We should have won. What can you do? We got to stay true to our name, which is the faithful, and stay faithful to the Niners, Kyle Shanahan, and the system. We could be pissed off. That's okay. We could be pissed off, but we gotta do what we gotta do. Maybe trade Swift instead. Yeah, if you could trade Swift for at least just one of those guys, that's a steal. That's a steal. Keep CMC. He's going to put up some points. We're going to get him involved no matter what. We're getting him involved. You should know, especially if it's a PPR league or even a half PPR league or a PPC league, which is a points per carry. He's going to get involved heavily. Making a team better don't hurt, just like fantasy football. Yeah, we just made this team better. Now our future, we could have lost. Like for example, we lost a second, third, and fourth. So that's very similar to like losing an Aaron Banks, losing Drake Jackson, losing even say Elijah Mitchell. I know he's a 6th-round pick, but it's potentially losing players like that. But you know what? We got a team right now. We could sacrifice at least a year of drafts. Let's move forward. CMC. I mean, who wouldn't want to have CMC on their team? Yeah, Chiefs are going to steal. I thought the Chiefs were going to steal CMC. I thought they were going to get Christian McCaffrey. I mean, if they would have gone that piece, they would have been pretty tough to stop. And I think they're pretty happy with what Juju and MVS are producing, because really it's just Travis Kelce is taking on the workload of that team. Do I stash OBJ in my league or no? I mean, personally, I wouldn't. I mean, a lot of people did that last year, and they put it, and he went ahead and signed with a red hot Rams team, and at best he was a flex. So if you have room, I mean, go for it. But me personally, I'm not doing it just because you saw him have struggling issues, and he's going to go to a Super Bowl contending team. So if he goes to a Super Bowl contending team, he's not going to be the wide receiver one. As good as he is, he's coming off of ACL injuries, so he's going to come off a little sluggish, a little rusty. There's still a ton of time on the clock so I don't blame him. I blame the 4 delayed games that were caught. We were falling apart. After that, we fell apart. Yeah, it was pretty bad. Hate living in the past. I still think about the Harbaugh Super Bowl and how it hurts and what the outcome was after that. The organization for the Niners was pretty messy at the time. I'm glad we cleaned up. More to Chiefs would be nice. Oh, that would be very nice. Oh yeah. I hope you're talking about DJ Moore. But like I said, I think they're pretty solidified with their wide receivers at the moment. I mean, they got Juju Smith-Schuster, MVS, they got Hardman, who has been playing very well, and they have Travis Kelce. I mean, I don't think they need too much, but if they do want to, add a dynamic player, DJ Moore would definitely be that guy. This is which more? Yeah, I think we are talking about DJ. Nice. But yeah, you guys. So going into this next game, get Kansas City Chiefs. I know we all want to win, right? And I'm optimistic. I'm not saying we're going to lose. It's going to be a tough matchup, but I do not feel how I felt the first time we were playing against the Rams this season. I was down to the dumps, and I feel a lot better going into this game now that we've made this move. And that is like I forgot what anniversary it is, but Jim Harbaugh will be there. So we're going to have some home field advantage there. And hopefully Nick Bosa plays. Like I said, I only want him to play if he's 100%. If not, let's just save him for the Rams. That's the most important game. But let's go out there and kick some butt. Right now in the comments down below, I want you guys to let me know your predictions of the 49ers and Kansas City game. So let me know who you think is going to win and what the score is going to be. Don't forget about our giveaway right here behind me. We got a Darius Leonard autographed mini helmet right here. So we're giving this away to one of our lucky subscribers. All you got to do is go to our YouTube on our shorts, so the little videos. Go to our shorts. Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on TikTok, and then the comment section, just press done. And I know some of y'all don't have a TikTok, so if you do not have a TikTok, go to the short. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube. On the comment section, tag a friend, and then press done, and we will enter you into this Darius Leonard, also known as Shaquille Leonard, autographed mini helmet. It is freaking awesome. I just looked up the price. It's going for way more than $80. And for you guys getting this for free, if you're not going to sell it or give it away as a gift, it'll be a great for your man cave, a great little addition. Even though you're not a Colts fan, it's just pretty cool to have. Let's get here. Panthers are cleaning house. Yeah, they are cleaning house. Half off fire sale. I mean, that's what I said when we did our Panthers video. I said this is what I would do, and it looks like that's what they're doing right now. Yeah, we stole CMC. They wanted 2 first-round picks. It came down to 2 teams. It came down to the Niners. It came down to the Rams. None of those teams had a first-round pick. Thank you, Trey Lance. But we offer them the next best thing, which is a 2nd, 3rd, and 4th for this upcoming draft, and then a 5th for next year's draft. Vincent says 49ers 27, Chiefs 30. I could appreciate the tight score. So I thank you, Vincent. Appreciate you being here live on NSP Niner Fridays, which we normally don't go live, but I'm going to be on the road all day today. And this was kind of last minute. 32-24, 49ers win. I sure hope so. And let's keep this energy, man. Let's keep this energy. Win or lose. I'm not saying we're going to lose because, like I said, I'm very optimistic that the Niners will win. I do feel like it will be a close game. I think it will be 34-31. I think it's going to come that close, 34-31. Niners up. But at the end of the day, let's cut to the chase, right? At the end of the day, we got players coming back healthy. So after the bye week, for sure, we're having the Niners back. We're having the defense back. And we get CMC on top of that. Never did I think that we would have CMC as a 49er. I want a Christian McCaffrey jersey. I want it. CMC gives you all a chance to get back to number 1 in the NFC West. We're still number 1, baby. We're still number 1 right now. And it's going to be tough because it's coming close, because right now Seattle's doing hot. Seattle is hot, and the Rams, they're not gonna turn belly up. And I think Cardinals are just hot trash. They just played a hot trash team, so that's why they got the dub. Yeah, like I said, we're ready first, man. We're ready first. We just got to keep it up. Like I said, this game is not as important as the following week. The Rams is the game that we got to win. We have to win that game. That's the most important out there. And I think by then we'll have Trent Williams 100%. We'll have Nick Bosa 100%. Charvarius Ward 100%. Jason Verrett is in practice. That is huge. 2019, he was our cornerback 1. So we're going to have Jason Verrett, Charvarius Ward, Hufunga's injured right now. He's on concussion protocol. He'll be back. Hopefully we'll have Kinlaw back, Armstead back. How many people do we have? How many people do we have on injury reserve or just doubtful, questionable throughout the whole season? It's the Niners curse. It's what we do, but we prevail. We always do that. They counted us out last year, and we made it to the championship game, and we should have gone to the Super Bowl. I will say it once again. But do I take Jets or 49ers defense this week? You take the Jets. You take the Jets. I'm going to look it up right here. Jets game. See who they're playing up against. The Jets are playing up against the Patriots. Okay, so I do like the Jets, even though they're going up against the Patriots, who Bailey Zappi has been playing pretty hot lately. But Sauce Gardner is on a whole different level, and if he could do that to Aaron Rodgers, he could definitely do that to Bailey Zappi. So I would take Jets. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, and we still have a banged-up defense, so I think we might play it safe. It's going to be a high-scoring game, so the points will be scored. So fantasy-wise, let's hold off on the Niners. I hate to say it too. I meant like number 1 at the end of the season. My bad. Yeah. Hey, you're in a chat with Niners fans here. You're in a chat with faithful, so you're in dangerous waters here. It says, guys, let's hit that like button. Hey, hit that like button if you guys do enjoy this. Hit that subscribe button if you're feeling generous. We do a Niner talk every Friday. It's usually pre-recorded, but I didn't expect to have this type of outcome going live. So I mean, if you guys like this live, I'll do my best to try to make that happen. But we'll figure out a schedule together. But we got to be happy about CMC. Jets gets Broncos. No, let me see. Is it Jets against Broncos? It is Jets against Broncos. What am I saying? It is Jets against Broncos. You start the Jets with 100%. Broncos are just trash. Russell Wilson's cooking some hot dog spaghetti out there. I don't care what the past scores look like. They get lucky with penalties that get them down the field. You start the Jets. We appreciate you so much, Joe Villa. Yeah, we do appreciate you. Pew pew, my guy. Yeah, Jets versus Broncos, bro. Yeah, my bad, my bad. It is just I actually have that in my fantasy notes. I got my Niners notes here with me today. I don't have my fantasy notes. I do have Jets as a start defense for this upcoming week. So go ahead and start the Jets over the 49ers. I love the Niners, but let's let them get healthy first because after the bye week, you want to hold on to the Niners, right? After the bye week, it's going to be cake. It's going to be some tres leches, cinnamon, chocolate, whipped cream, cherry on top cake for your fantasy team. They're going to be doing very well. But yeah, appreciate you guys so much. I think I'm going to end the live stream. I do have to get on the road. I'm actually very late. My fiance is pretty probably going to get mad at me right now. But I thank you guys for joining me live. I wasn't expecting this. So let's try to enjoy Sunday. I'm gonna have the pit on outside. I'm gonna be down there with family. But hopefully you guys can enjoy it as well. And until next time, keep on grinding, faithful.